There's one limited 5-star character everyone should have in Wuthering Waves, and that's Shorekeeper. Now, if you're new to the game, I know what you're thinking. Why do I need another healing character? I already have Verena and Baija. I want more DPS, and that's all well and good. But the reason you want Shorekeeper is that she's not only the best healer in the game, she also provides the best passive buffs. So if you've been looking for an updated guide on Shorekeeper, I got you. Now, I will admit, not much has changed since I made my build guide video about her back during 1.3, but I wanted to give an updated one for anyone who just started the game, especially for people who just started playing during 2.0. So let's not waste any time and dive right into it. If you are debating on pulling for Shorekeeper, which I would highly recommend, her strengths do include, number one, having the best persistent off-field healing and also giving a crit rate and crit damage buffs. And number two, her kit offers a lot of utility, including damage amplification, knockdown recovery, and knockout prevention. For her combat roles, I know I already mentioned the support and healing factor, plus the damage amplification, but she also has traction, allowing you to pull enemies within range to a specific position. And if you want to get her to max level, here are all the materials you're going to need. For the Whispering Core material, it can be found on the humanoid type echoes, specifically in the 1.0 area, and there's a lot of them to farm, so you can get this material pretty quickly. The flower we're looking for is called Nova, which can be found around the Black Shores, and you can also use collection spots. Or you can buy it at the KU Money Exchange in the Tethys Hub part of the Black Shores. And for your overworld boss material, you're going to have to fight the Fallacy of No Return for the topological confinement. Again, you will have to do the 1.3 story to get access to this area. For what skills to prioritize upgrading first on Shorekeeper, definitely her Resonance Liberation. This is a must. After that, your Resonance skill and Intro skill are kind of tied. And then lastly, Forte Circuit and your normal attack. And here are all the materials you're going to need to upgrade all of these skills. For the Helix material, your best bet is to do forgery challenges, specifically Misty Forest in the 1.0 area, because it will also drop the Whispering Cores you're going to need. And for your weekly boss material, you're going to have to fight Jue for the Sentinel's Dagger. To maximize Shorekeeper's healing and buffs, we need to understand exactly how her kit works. The first thing we need to talk about is her Resonance Liberation, because this is where we're going to gain all of the buffs. When you initially use the skill, she'll go through her animation, she'll pop this domain around you. This is the Outer Stellar Realm. Note the Resonance Liberation in and of itself will last 30 seconds, and with the Outer Stellar Realm, as long as you're within the range, it'll restore HP for your entire team every 3 seconds, which means you get 10 ticks of healing. Now, to improve the Stellar Realm's effects, all you have to do is use an intro skill. So if you have the Outer Stellar Realm and you perform an intro skill, it'll change into the Inner Stellar Realm. As you can see, the Outer Stellar Realm is blue and the color now changes to purple. So as long as you're within range, for every 0.2% of Shorekeeper's energy regen, all party members gain a 0.01% increase of crit rate up to 12.5%, and the Inner Stellar Realm gains the previous benefits of healing. If you use another intro skill, it'll change the Interstellar Realm into the Supernal Stellar Realm, which will change the color from purple to gold. As long as you're within range, for every 0.1% of Shorekeeper's energy regen, all party members gain a 0.01% increase of crit damage up to a max of 25%, and also gains the previous buffs. Now, I know I said a lot of percentages, but the only thing you need to know is that you need a 250% energy regen stat to take full advantage of these buffs to gain the max crit rate and crit damage buffs. And note, with her second inherent skill, Self-Gravitation, as long as the resonator on the field is within the Stellar Realm, Shorekeeper's energy regen increases by 10%, and Rover's energy regen also increases by 10% if Rover is on the team. If you played through the 1.3 story, you kind of understand why we have this skill, but also what I will say is that this is great for people who want to have a free-to-play team, especially if you like using Havoc Rover. We're not quite done with the Stellar Realm yet. Let's talk about her intro skill. Now, there's two different versions. You have the regular version, which is Enlightenment, where again she'll appear on the field, restore HP, and summon 5 Dim Star Butterflies, which will automatically track and attack targets, dealing Spectre damage considered Resonance skill damage. The main thing we want to talk about is her skill Discernment, which is her burst skill. So as long as you have the Supernal Stellar Realm, which is the final iteration of her Resonance Liberation, her first intro skill triggered in its duration will be replaced with Discernment. Casting Discernment will end the current Stellar Realm, restore HP for all nearby party members, and deal Spectre damage to targets. This attack is a guaranteed critical hit, dealing Resonance Liberation damage. The intro skill, Discernment, can only be triggered once each time a Supernal Stellar Realm is generated. With this skill being a guaranteed crit hit, we don't have to focus on crit rate on our Echo stats. We can focus on crit damage and Resonance Liberation and make this skill extremely strong. Plus, I find if you time it up properly, it can very easily parry enemies. Now that we've talked about the main skills, let's talk about the rest of her kit. First up, starting with the Resonance skill, Chaos Theory. This skill is going to be the instant healing button, essentially. So when you use it, it'll restore HP for your entire team, summon 5 Dim Star Butterflies, which will automatically track and attack targets, dealing Spectre damage. You can follow up with basic attack cycle from stage 2, and it can be performed in midair. Going over her Forte, if you look at the bar, it's cut up into 5 different sections. This is what's called Empirical data. She gets 1 segment when she hits a target with basic attack stage 1, 2, or 4. She gets 2 when a target gets hit with basic attack stage 3, and also gets a segment each time a emitter attack or dodge counter hits a target. When a target is hit with any of these normal attacks, it generates a collapsed core, which will transform into a flare star butterfly after 6 seconds. These butterflies will automatically track and attack targets dealing Spectre damage, and if there's already 5 collapsed cores on the field, the next basic attack will instantly convert a collapsed core into a Flare Star Butterfly. Now, if you want to use these Flare Star Butterflies all at once, we're going to need all 5 segments of her Forte bar full to perform Illation and Transmutation. With Illation, as long as your Forte bar is full, you can actually perform the heavy attack just by holding down your basic attack button. It'll consume all segments, pull in the targets, dealing Spectre damage, and all the collapsed cores on the field will instantly turn into Flare Star Butterflies. Transmutation is the mid-air attack version of this, so as long as your Forte bar is full, you can perform the mid-air attack, deal Spectre damage, and all the collapsed cores will turn into Flare Star Butterflies. Essentially, Illation is really good for pulling in multiple targets into one space, and I find that a lot of these skills can actually parry enemies as well. There's also another unique thing about her kit, which is her regular heavy attack. So as long as your Forte bar is not full, you can actually hold down your normal attack button and enter the Unbound form, which turns her into a butterfly. You'll continuously consume stamina, but while you're in this form, you'll generate a segment of deductive data, which is essentially empirical data. It basically just fills up the Forte bar. You get 1 every second, and you can automatically collect nearby plant collectibles. So just by running them over, you automatically collect them. Now, once all your stamina is gone, or you perform an action like a basic attack, you'll leave the Unbound form, deal Spectre damage, and all of the accumulated deductive data will turn into empirical data, like I said, and generate a collapsed core. Going over some final info, with her first inherent skill, Life Entwined, when a Resonator other than Shorekeeper takes a fatal blow, they will not be knocked out and will instead be healed for 50% of Shorekeeper's HP, while Shorekeeper loses the same amount of HP. Shorekeeper's HP will not go below 1 from this effect. This effect can be triggered once every 10 minutes. Essentially, every 10 minutes, you have an instant revive skill for your team. For her Ultra skill, Binary Butterfly, she'll summon 1 Flare Star and 1 Dim Star Butterfly to circle the Resonator on the field for 30 seconds, granting the following effects. If the Resonator on the field is hit or launched, tapping the dodge button allows the Resonator to immediately recover from the interruption, triggering a successful dodge. The Resonator launched in the air can land on the ground standing if they are close to the ground. This effect can be triggered up to 5 times, and all nearby party members' damage is amplified by 15%. And lastly, for her left and right column stat bonuses, we get a healing bonus percentage and HP percentage. So now that we've talked about the kit, let's talk about the damage rotation, which is honestly pretty simple. Obviously, the main objective is to get our Concerto energy up to around 3/4, then use our Resonance Liberation and perform that first intro skill so we can turn the outer stellar realm into the inner stellar realm pretty much automatically. Ideally, we want to use all of these skills until our Concerto is around 3/4 of the way full, like I said, and then use the Resonance Liberation, which will completely fill out your Concerto energy. Then use your Echo skill, in this case, Fallacy of No Return, which we'll talk about here in a minute, and then use the intro skill to switch out to your next character. Preferably a sub DPS character that's going to have faster Concerto efficiency, so then you can not only buff your main DPS character, but also change the Interstellar Realm into the final form, the Supernal Stellar Realm, so you can take advantage of the healing, the crit rate, and the crit damage buffs. Now at this point, you're using your main DPS to get a lot of damage in. If you end up switching back to your sub DPS for a quick swap, or switching back to Shorekeeper to use the Resonance skill to heal, again, that's totally fine. The main thing is getting our Concerto up on either our sub DPS or main DPS to use Shorekeeper's intro skill, which will be Discernment since we have the Supernal Stellar Realm. And again, this attack is a guaranteed crit hit, so it's going to deal some decent damage and take out a lot of shield if you're facing a boss. And after that, it's rinse and repeat. Do your normal attacks, pop the Resonance Liberation, use your Echo skill, switch to your sub DPS. Again, this is why Shorekeeper is the best support and healer in the game, because everything that she provides is off-field and lasts for a long time. For Shorekeeper's best weapon options, her signature Stellar Symphony is phenomenal. You get a flat attack and an energy regen percentage bump, which is going to be really good to take full advantage of her Resonance Liberation buffs. And with this perk, Astral Evolvement, note this is at rank 1, you get a 12% HP increase, restore 8 Concerto energy when casting your Resonance Liberation. This effect can be triggered 1 time every 20 seconds. When casting your Resonance skill that heals, which hers does, it increases nearby party members' attack by 14% for 30 seconds. So the 2 main reasons why her signature is so good is number 1, you get a lot of energy regen, and number 2, you get a free attack percentage bonus increase, which is Kind of insane. If you decide to not go for a signature, there are a couple of 4-star rectifiers you can use. The first one being Variation, where you get an attack and energy regen percentage bump. With this perk, Ceaseless Aria, when you cast your Resonance skill, it gives you Concerto energy, and you can trigger this once every 20 seconds. This is the second best one, only because you get a lot of Concerto energy just by using the Resonance skill and the energy regen. Next would be Call the Abyss, which is a free rectifier everybody can get their hands on as long as you do the Shadow of Towers exploration quest, which I've dropped a whole video on that here on the channel. You get a flat attack and an energy regen percentage bump with this perk, Pull of the Celestial Dome. When you cast your Resonance Liberation, it increases the healing bonus by a percentage for 15 seconds. The last one I'll mention is Comet Flare, where you get an attack and HP percentage bump. With this perk, Luminous Protection, when you deal basic or heavy attack damage, it increases your healing bonus by a percentage, stacking up to 3 times. It'll last for 8 seconds and can be triggered one time every 0.6 seconds. For Shorekeeper's best echo set, I would highly recommend 5-piece Rejuvenating Glow. Now, if you want to use 5-piece Moonlit Clouds, I think that's totally fine, especially if you have another healer on the team and you want to use her specifically to buff the next character even more. Again, this is very situational. That's why I just recommend everyone go with Rejuvenating Glow. At your 4-cost echo, we're going to want Fallacy of No Return with either healing bonus or crit damage. At your 2-3 cost, energy regen or HP percentage, and for your 2-1 cost, HP percentage. The reason we want to use Fallacy of No Return is because whether you tap the skill just to activate it or hold it down to unleash its attack, either way, after the skill is done, the Resonator gains a 10% bonus to energy regen, and all team members get a 10% attack bonus for 20 seconds. And for our Echo substats, we're looking at energy regen, HP percentage and crit damage, and then Resonance Liberation and Resonance skill. For Shorekeeper's best team options, if you're free to play, pairing her up with Yang Yang and Havoc Rover is perfect. Shorekeeper with the healing, the crit rate, and the crit damage buffs, obviously very nice. Plus, Rover getting a 10% energy regen increase pretty much for free through your inherent skill is nice. Then Yang Yang, we have the Concerto efficiency factor, traction pulling all the targets into one spot, then also restoring resonance energy, which means we can use Havoc Rover's ult even more often. But outside of that, Shorekeeper is going to be the premium support on any team that you decide to do. Whether it's Phoebe and Spectro Rover, Carlotta and Zezha, Camellia and Sanhua, Zhang Liao and Yinlin, Jian and Mortefi. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have your main DPS and your sub DPS good, Shorekeeper can fill in and buff the entire team. So if there's a team that you like using or you have any questions about team comp, definitely let me know in the comments. The last thing I want to talk about is her Resonance Chain, and is it worth getting multiple copies of her? Her S1, Unspoken Conjecture. The Stellar Realms gain some bonuses, so the effective range of healing and buffs is extended by 150%, the duration is extended by 10 seconds, and whenever you cast the intro skill Discernment, it no longer ends the existing Stellar Realm. S2, Knight's Gift and Refusal, which is easily her best one. The Outer Stellar Realm now increases the attack of all nearby party members by 40%. S3, Infinity Awaits Me. Casting a Resonance Liberation grants Shorekeeper 20 Concerto energy. This effect can be triggered once every 25 seconds. S4, Overflowing Quietude. Gain 70% additional healing bonus when casting your Resonance skill. S5, Echoes in Silence. Extend the ranges of the pulling effect of your basic attack stage 3 by 50% and Illation by 30%. And lastly, S6, To the New World. Increase the damage multiplier of Discernment by 42%, and casting Discernment increases Shorekeeper's crit damage by 500%. So that literally makes Discernment a nuke skill. Overall, S2 is a great stopping point, but after that, I wouldn't worry about the rest of them unless you want to go all the way to S6. The main thing with S1 is now the Stellar Realm lasts for 40 seconds and doesn't go away when you use Discernment, which means you can have the buffs for even longer, and S2 giving a literal free 40% attack increase for the entire team is just absolutely insane. S3, 4, and 5 are decent, but they're not absolutely necessary, and unless you want to go for the big nuke skill at S6, I would just stop at S2. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my updated Shorekeeper build guide and kit breakdown. Like I mentioned, almost nothing has changed about her kit and her playstyle since she came out in 1.3, but for any new players that came in with 2.0, 2.1, or even this update with 2.2, I just want to explain why I think every player should have her on your account. She is way too good to pass up, and she provides way too many benefits. Even if you're someone who's free to play and you've been saving your pulls for a specific character, you should at least get your copy of Shorekeeper. You don't necessarily need her weapon. You don't necessarily need S2, although those things are extremely good. As long as you have her, you're set. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you pulling for Shorekeeper? And if you already have her, who are you saving for in the future? We have Zani and Chakona coming up with the next update, so I'm very excited for that. In any event, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on any other Wuthering Waves content we have coming out here on the channel. If you didn't know, we live stream here on YouTube and then also over on Twitch. That link will be in the description. I typically stream Wuthering Waves whenever we have a new update, there's a new event, or a new banner is out, and usually there's always drops available as well, so if you want some extra materials, be sure to tune on into the stream. Also, if you want to join my community, hop in my Discord. That link will also be in the description. We have plenty of people talking about Wuthering Waves, other gacha games, and then plenty of other topics including gaming, tech, and anime. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. Now, if you don't know what a membership is, it's essentially like a Twitch subscription, but it's technically cheaper. You're going to gain access to exclusive emotes, monthly badges, and the main benefit, which is getting access to all of my long-form videos early. So, if you would like some more information, all you have to do is press the join button next subscribe, and I'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's been your boy. We'll catch you in the next video.